Hello everyone, it's Dawn and welcome back to my channel. Welcome to our subscribers, whether you're a new subscriber or a long-term subscriber. Lovely to have you with us. Well, today we're going to be making another table decoration, but this time we're going to be making one that's a little bit more structured. We're going to make a holder for a tea light candle, and we are going to make it in the form of a poinsettia. So you will need, if I can find my notes, oh here we go. First of all, you will need a circle base. Now I've cut mine out of red. If you want to use red glitter card or red, you could even use glitter felt if you wanted to. But you could use glitter card or red, what's that stuff called? Red mirror card. I've got some red mirror card, but not enough. So I'm just going to use plain red, ordinary red card stock. But I'm going to show you, if you don't want to, if you either haven't got enough or you don't want to have it sparkly and bright all over, I'm going to show you at the end how we can add some little accents to the finished petals. So to begin with, you will need a circle base measuring 3.5 diameters, and all of the measurements, as usual, will be in the description box below. Just a quick reminder of how to access that. Click on the word more, which is just underneath the video, and everything will drop down and you'll see what you need to know. So the card, I can't remember where the card stock came from, but it's just general cardstock. I think it's 260 GSM, and you can get it from just about anywhere, so, or anywhere that sells crafting products anyway. So we're going to pop that to one side for a minute. We are going to need our glue gun for this. You could use a strong craft glue if you want to, but because we're going to be using I've used another little plastic trifle pot, but this time I've cut it down to the size, or so that my tea light candle will fit in it easily. But we'll get to that at the end of the, towards the end of the video. So I'm going to show you, first of all, how to make your templates. I would recommend you make a template if you've never made this before. It doesn't have to be perfect, because by the time it's put together, it will look beautiful anyway. So I'm just going to pop that to one side. And you will need, I've just made my templates out of some ordinary, what's that stuff called? Printer paper. So I'm going to show you how you do it, or at least how I do it. So the largest leaf or petal you will need measures 5 by 2.5 inches. So how I did mine, I'll show you how I made my template. If you've got a die that's similar shape to this, of course, you can do that. You could use your oval dies and then just taper it down to the end by cutting it. I didn't do that. I've only just a second thought about it. Otherwise, I might have done. But doing it by hand is absolutely fine by me. So you will need, what did I say? 5 by 2.5. So just start off by drawing a line that's 5 inches. Then at the top of that, you don't have to be absolutely exact. We are going to draw a line that is 2.5 inches. So we need 1.25. So it's difficult to see because, again, the sun is pouring through the window. Middle of February, and no, it's not February at all, is it? It's November, I do beg your pardon. So middle of November, and the sun is absolutely glorious. It's a bit chilly out there, but it's really nice. And so we're going to draw what looks a little bit like a cross. Well, I suppose it does look like a cross. But none of this will be seen in the final product. And then all we do is we use our pencil, draw a curve like that. It doesn't matter how deeply or lightly you draw your curve, because this is just a template. Then you carry on that curve and bring it up to a point like that. I'm sure you can see where we're going. And then you do exactly the same to the other side. It doesn't have to be symmetrical. Very few things in nature are symmetrical. Some things are, but not many. But they still look beautiful, which is the wonderful thing. So you do that, and then once you've done that, I'm going to find somewhere to put it. The floor looks a good idea. You cut it out, and when you've cut it out, you will have a piece like this. And you can trace this down onto your cardstock. Just draw around it. You will need 6 of these. Again, that will be in the description box below. You will need 6 of these. And so you just draw around it 6 times, cut them out 6 times, or if you're using your oval dies, find the right size, or as near as you can, and cut them out, and then just taper them at the end to make a point. So either way is absolutely fine. And you will need to do that. Oh, with this little bit. We'll come to that in a minute. Let's do one bit at a time. And once you've done that, you will have a piece that looks like this. Now I know they're crinkled. I'm going to show you how to make them crinkled in just a second. In fact, we're going to do that next. I've got my glue gun. In fact, it's oozing out quite nicely, so it's warmed up. So let's just, I don't want to sweep them too far because they'll go off the edge of the table and I can't get them from here. So you'll have a piece that looks like that, nice and clean and flat so far. So to make them crinkly, what you do, if you've still got a bit of pencil mark where you've drawn around it, like I have there, I'm not sure the camera's picking that up, but you can do one of two things. You can either rub it out if you're that fussy, but I'm not, or put the pencil line face down. Any pencil markings put face down. And then what we do, I'll show you how to do it on one. I won't make you watch this all 6 of these. I'll just do one and show you how I do it. Again, it doesn't have to meet exactly. So we fold it in half. Give it a fairly good crease. You don't have to be it doesn't have to be a very deep crease. Now, as you can see, that crease did not go right down to the point, but that doesn't matter. By the time we finish, that really, really, really won't matter. So what we do next, this is the fun bit. This is quite therapeutic. This is almost as fun as kneading dough when you're making bread, for those of us that still do make bread. I don't do it all the time, but just occasionally. So all you do is you just screw the edges up. If you want to moisten this with a little drop of water first, or a spraying of water, you can. But as you can see, it's really not necessary. But if you want to do that, you can. I was going to, but I decided not to risk it. Because I've got the hot glue gun, water and electricity don't particularly meet. They're not very good friends. And knowing me, I'd probably end up electrocuting myself. So I decided not to do that. So if you do that, just be aware of where the electrics are and the wires. And especially if you're like me, I've got an extension reel sitting on my desk. You certainly don't want the water going down there. So once you've done that, that's just a little safety warning, which we have to do these days. So once you've done that 6 times, you will have 6 pieces that look like that. So what we're going to do now, we're going to get this party started straight away, and we're going to make this up, or start making it up anyway. Then we'll deal with the next layer. So we need our glue gun, which, as I say, is all spilling out all over the place. Now, this is where I have to make sure I don't burn myself. So I was just trying to work out the best way of doing this. I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to put the glue, we're going to start off in the middle, like that. Just wipe it off, put the glue gun out the way, and we're just going to push that into the middle. But because we've got something that's going to sit in the middle, what I would suggest you do be careful of your fingers. Now, if you're worried about your fingers getting burnt, you can use something like a glue stick to push it. But I'd try, if I were you, just to try and keep that flat, because it'll just make it easier for when we put our candle in the middle. So we're going to do all this in real time, like we did before, so that we can see it building up. And I would suggest that we have our petals so that they're touching each other. So we'll just pop that down there like that. So just have your petals so that they're touching or very slightly overlapping. We don't want to overlap them too much, because we don't want to create too much bulk in the middle. Otherwise our candle won't sit flat. So we're going to carry on doing this all the way around. We're going to let this build up nicely. So just a little splodge, you don't need too much. Just wipe it and it'll stop the glue strings going all over the place, hopefully. So as we're going, we're making a platform for our candle centre, our centrepiece, which is going to be our candle. And then in a minute, when we're done this, I'll show you what we need to do, or I'll tell you what we need to do for the second layer, because we need 2 layers of our poinsettia petals. And we're going to put that one there, nearly done. So this doesn't take, once you've done all the cutting and crinkling, the crinkling is the best part, it really doesn't take all that long to put together, which is why I've decided to, again, to do it in real time so that we can see it building up, especially if you've never, for anyone who may not, oops, I'm just going to ignore that, wasn't expecting that. For anyone who may not have done this type of crafting before, a lot of people I know do things by machine these days. And I'm not against that. If you want to use the machine, that's absolutely fine. I'm using a machine. I'm using a hot glue gun. It's a type of machine. So there, very quickly, is, now will that go down a little bit further? Oh, not much, a little tiny bit maybe. So there is our first layer of poinsettia petals, and I hope you'll agree, it's looking good already. So we're going to set that to one side, and you need, where's it gone? Oh, there it is. You need another template for the second layer, and this one measures 4 inches by 2 inches, and you draw them and make them in exactly the same way. Just draw 4 inches, 2 across, do a type of cross and cut it, draw it in and cut it out. So we won't do that again. And again, you're going to cut out 6. And because it's so much fun, I'm going to give you a quick reminder of how we get them to be nice and crinkly. So we fold it in half and just give it a bit of a score down the middle. You can use your bone folder if you want to, but you really don't have to. That's really not necessary. But if you want to do that, that's fine. And again, we just screw it up. Screw it, hold it for a few seconds or a couple of seconds, and then take it out. And we've got that lovely crinkle which you get in poinsettia leaves, or petals I should say. I was going to put some leaves on it, but then I decided that it's going to be quite full enough by the time we're done. So I decided not to put any petals on it. But if you want to put some petals on it, you can. Just use up between, I'd say, 4 and 6, and make them in exactly the same way as you make your petals, but obviously we will use green. You'll be using green cardstock to do that. So this time what we're going to do is we're going to offset our slightly smaller ones. Again, trying, she says, to keep it flat, fairly flat, so that we've got a flattish, it doesn't have to be totally flat, but so that we've got a flattish base for our candle, which we will put in when we've got this lot in. So we'll go around. I've got some glue stick. I've got some extra glue sticks in a pot just off camera. So we overlap again. So we've got, it's like a petal between 2 petals. So we're going to build that up, and that already, I think, is looking absolutely gorgeous. I'm really pleased with the way this is coming out. I've not done this before. I just saw someone else doing it. Wasn't quite, for me, it wasn't quite right, but that was fine. But I decided I wanted to do it my way, as we do. We should never really copy exactly. It's fine to get inspiration from other people's channels, but you should never copy them, because that's not really the done thing to do. But I know some people do, and if that's what you want to do, then fine. But they use different products. They didn't use hot glue, and it seemed to take an awful long time to do something that looked very simple. So this is just my way of doing it. It did look beautiful, I have to say, but I thought, do I really want to spend all that time on something that I could do just as well in half the time? So this is my version. So we're nearly done. Again, we're going to put a petal between 2 petals, and one more. We've just got one more little petal there. Oh, this one goes this side. I thought, I know there's a gap there somewhere. So we're going to put another petal there. We're not done with the glue stick, with the glue gun yet, so I'm glad I've still got some glue sticks on standby. And there is our basic poinsettia, and I think that looks really pretty on its own. So if you didn't want to use it as a candle holder, what you could do is you could put some yellow or gold in the middle and put a hanger on it and hang it. But we are going to, as I've got all this prepared, I will just grab another glue stick quickly, because we may need it, we may not, but we're going to use it just in case. So what I've done, I did for my lunch today, I had another trifle, and I cut down the top. I cut down the pack so that it's roughly, it doesn't have to be exactly the same, but by sheer coincidence, it's more or less the same size as a candle, which I think is absolutely fantastic. And again, if you're going to do this, guys, I know you know this, but please don't use real candles, because of plastic and paper or card. We don't want fires or anyone getting hurt. So please do use a battery operated candle. So there's the health and safety bit out the way. So what we're going to do now is, well, first of all, we're not going to glue that. We're going to leave that. But what we are going to do, I'm going to put the glue on here this time. We're going to put a fairly hefty blob of glue on there, and we're going to push that into the middle. Just hold it just for a few seconds. Now do be careful with hot glue because it is very hot and sometimes it will melt plastic, and I don't want you burning your fingers, so just be a bit careful as you stick it down. And that is not going to stay. Okay, plan B. That's not going to stick. So if that does happen, I wondered whether it would. If that does happen, what you need to do is, I'm going on to plan B now. We're going to use some foam tape. So just take a strip of foam tape about inch and a half long, doesn't really matter, and stick it in the middle like that. I did wonder whether the hot glue would work on plastic. It doesn't always. Some plastics it does, this one it obviously doesn't. Although it did on the last one. So I'm not quite sure why it didn't this time, but whatever. It doesn't matter. So just use a bit of foam tape and that will stick beautifully. There you go, that will stick beautifully. And then all you've got to do is put your candle on, pop it in there, and then you won't really see it. So there is our gorgeous poinsettia. Now, if you want to, you can leave it like that. What I am going to do quickly is unplug my glue gun because I don't need it on anymore. But if you want to leave it like that, if you've made it with ordinary red cardstock, you can leave it like that and that would look absolutely fantastic. But if you wanted to add a little bit of sparkle, but you don't want a whole lot of sparkle, I did promise I'd show you, or at least how I do it. Now, again, this is one of those things, use what you've got. You don't have to go out and buy things, especially for this. If you've got glitter glue, you can use that. If you've got glossy accents, you can use that. I have got glossy accents, but I wanted a little bit of glitter, but I don't have glitter glue. I know you can make your own, but why bother when you've got something like glitter nail polish? Now, I don't put polish on my nails because they're horrible and ridgy and it doesn't stay for more than 5 minutes. But I do buy nail polish because I craft with it. So this, I can't really see whether it's silver or gold. I think it's gold, but it doesn't really matter. So what I'm going to do, as you can see, I've used it a lot. I'm going to have to get some more. You can only get it at this time of year, so I usually just buy loads of it. So on the petals where it's creased up, where the crease faces upwards, where it would be catching the light anyway, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to, where, as I say, where the creases would catch the light, because they're facing upwards, I'm going to put some light, some glitter. I'm not going to go around everyone, not now. I might do at the end, but I'm not going to do it now. So we'll just put some on here, and when I'm done, I'll probably do the whole lot before I take a final photograph. But I'm sure you get the idea. We won't go around it now because it'll take a while. So just put a little bit of accent on there if you want to, or if you don't want to, just keep it as it is. This won't actually show up very much, but it will catch the lights. If you're going to put this near lights, it will catch the lights because it's got glitter on it. And of course, there you go. It's perfectly safe. As long as you keep it away from a naked flame, because of course it's got acetone in it. So there you go, guys. There is our poinsettia table decoration with a battery operated candle in the middle. Perfectly safe for children, anyone who might be slightly vulnerable. And of course it looks beautiful. If you wanted to add some more decoration in here, you could add some little bells. I'm going to leave it like that. Sometimes I think the clean and simple looks more effective. So I'm going to leave mine like that. And I hope you have a go yourself. If you do, please do pop over and join us in our Crafty Capers with Dawn Facebook group and show us your version. We'd love to see it. And just a heads up with that one, what I might be doing, because we're not really doing very much in that group at the moment, what I'm thinking of doing, perhaps in the new year, is closing that group down and opening up another one, which will be more inclusive. So you'll get a bit of what I do in my business and our regular, in my crafting business and in our regular tutorials, so that we don't have to have two different groups for different things. I don't think I could cope with running two groups. So in the new year, we're going to be sorting out our Facebook group. But in the meantime, the Crafty Capers with Dawn, it'll be a different name as well. But for now, that one's still open. So do pop along and show us your versions of this. We'd love to see it. And I will see you Friday with another project. In the meantime, take care everybody. Have fun. And as always, happy crafting. Bye-bye for now.